and let the customer go first. Okay, this way they're not looking at the back of my balding head as their first impression. I want them to kind of get a feel for the entryway. Now, when we show a home, look, any idiot can point out the toilet and say, this is the bathroom, right? And there's a sink and a range, that must be the kitchen. Everybody knows what those things are. That is not what we want to do here. What we want to talk about is the architectural style and design of the home. So, as they come in, they're going to be standing here in the foyer, and the first thing that you want to do is point out the sight lines, okay? Notice how they can't really see into the private area of the home, the kitchen, the dining area. In this one, you can see the family room. It's even better if you can't see the family room. You want that to be as minimal as possible. In any home, there are two domains, okay? There's your public domain and your private domain. Your public domain is the show areas of the home, okay? That's going to be like den, dining room, okay? And the private domain are the areas that, the family are in. That's going to be your family room, your kitchen, the bedrooms, things like that. Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so with this home, we're seeing a little bit of private domain in the family room, but most of the home is hidden, okay? And in doing that, hey, you can go on into the second model. I'll come get you guys in a second. And so it's important to point those things out so that your folks start to get a better feel for how the home was designed and why it's laid out in such a way. And if they ask you why that's important, now you can tell them public domain, private domain. We want to make sure that your private domain remains as private as possible. Okay. So now, as we come through, of course, the first thing we have is the coat closet. Now, if you previewed the home before you bring them out, you're going to know more about the home, okay? When I did resale, I scheduled my tours, and I went through with my Garmin, and I set my route, and then I went out to all the homes, and I walked them first. I opened all the blinds, all right? I turned on all the lights. Model homes, have you ever gone into a model home where all the lights were not on? No. You know why? Because homes show better in the light than they do in the dark. When the rooms are dark, the home doesn't sell, right? So we want to make sure all the lights are on, all the light bulbs are functional. There's no window coverings on any model home window. New home or resale homes, you're going to have blinds and shutters and all of that. And the homeowners, of course, keep them dark and closed so that people can't see that there's nobody living there. So make sure you go there, go through the route before you take your client. Open all those things up. Turn on all the lights. Make sure the home smells nice. If it doesn't, you should have some air fresheners in your car, some candles that you can, I wouldn't use candles, but what I'm talking about, those electric candles that emit a scent, what do they call them, diffusers. Go ahead into the second model. I'll come get you in a minute. Okay. Thank you. That will enhance the aroma of the house or kill the odors that are in the house, right? And by doing that, you're going to make for a more pleasant showing, okay? Now, once you walk through it, you should be looking at, where do I really want to stand while I'm demonstrating the home to make sure that the buyers are seeing it from the best angle possible, right? You want to increase the room size by standing at certain points to enhance the sight lines to, again, make the home live larger than it does. What's your name?
Suzanne.
Suzanne, where Suzanne's standing, you got the stair rail right there, right? Okay, that comes as a pony wall. And a lot of older homes have the pony wall, which means it's a solid wall, the height of the stair rail. Why do we put the railing in? Because when we look at it, if it's a pony wall, this becomes a narrower hallway because that's solid, and the room is this wide. But when we can see through the railing, it extends the sight line, the room extends as well, and the space lives larger, okay? And so you're gonna see that in a lot of model homes, stair rails, etc., downstairs, upstairs, to increase the size as we go. Same thing with windows. If you don't have a window on that wall there, that room is a little smaller, but when you can see through the window to the wall, the room is enhanced and large because our brain feels like it's a bigger space than it really is, okay? And these are little things that architects do to make a home live bigger, okay? Now, if you're dealing with first-time buyer, first-time move-up, you might be looking at smaller homes. When you get to the bigger homes, they pretty much show themselves. I mean, you're talking 5,000 square feet. They're going to be very open and large, and there's not too much you really have to do to enhance it as an architect. But as a realtor, we still want to go through and demonstrate it the same way, pointing out all the little things that make the home live a little larger or make it unique and special. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Maybe have questions so far? All right, let's head on into the main living area. All right, what's the first question we're going to ask once we get into this area?
How do you like it so far?
How does it feel? Right? I don't even want to know how do you like it, because I don't want them to say I don't like it.
Okay.
I want to say, how do you feel about this? Why? Why do we ask about feelings instead of getting them to think, make a decision on like or don't like?
So you don't waste your time showing around.
Okay. What else?
So you get to know.
Because people buy on emotion, right? And then they justify it logically. If I ask, do you like it or not like it? He's got his logical brain thinking, like or don't like. If I ask how it feels, now his emotional brain is coming out. Well, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty open. Or maybe it feels a little small. Great. You know what? If do you want to see the rest of this, or would you like to see something a little bigger? Okay, you've already seen every home on your route, I hope, so you know which ones have larger great rooms, etc., so that you can bring them right over to that if that's what they need. And if that's 3 homes down the line, you can skip the next 2, right? Because you know that he's probably or she's probably not going to like that and go right to number 3. If you break an appointment, what happens to you? Do you go to realtor prison?
No, you don't.
No, nothing happens, right? I mean, so you don't show up for it. Who cares? You're not there to make the seller of those other 2 homes feel good by showing up and showing a home that your client has already told you he's not going to like based on the response here. Your job is to help your client and to do it in the most economical way possible, which is getting from point A to point B, meaning from I want to buy a house to I found the house I want to buy as quickly as possible, right? So you can skip the 2 that you already know are not going to be right for them and say, okay, let's just go to this one, because this is more in line with what you've shared with me, right? Not told you, shared with you. Get them sharing, okay? That's going to enhance your relationship even more, okay? Couple other things. We don't spend time walking through. We invest time walking through, okay? Spent, never getting that back. Invest, that's just something that can grow into a larger outcome. So, always focus on your vocabulary, okay? You never tell anybody anything, you're always sharing, okay? You're never spending, you're always investing. Okay, little tweaks like that go a long way to, again, getting them in the proper mindset to make the buying decision, okay? Now, as you come into the kitchen, some of the things that I like to share with folks is, especially when we have as much space between the island and the counter, or the range and refrigerator, as we do here, I want to ask questions, right? Who does the cooking? Do you share cooking duties? Do you have trouble in your current kitchen walking past each other or being in the kitchen cooking together because there's not enough room? All right? Get them to answer that. If they say, yes, that's a huge problem for us, well, why don't you both stand here? Okay, sir, what's your name? Mo and Patrick. So Mo, stand here in front of Patrick. So you can see there's plenty of room for 2 people to be in the kitchen together. It doesn't hurt to get your clients to do stuff like that. Have them open drawers and cabinets. Have them open the dishwasher and look inside the range. Make sure it's big enough for their turkey, right? I mean, it's going to be, but having them touch things, you're getting more senses involved than just sight, okay? We want sight, we want sound, we want touch. We don't want them to taste anything because, that could be bad, but, we want smell. So again, if you know that the home smells bad when you previewed it, having an air freshener is certainly going to go a long way to help making them feel good about it. And when you do an open house, same thing. I mean, I always brought bread or cookies to bake in the oven to give it that aroma throughout the house so that people remember, like when they were kids and they smell fresh bread baking in the home. You know, those are the things that we want them to experience to fall in love with the home. Why? Because they buy on emotion. Exactly. So, questions on this so far? Okay. Other things that you can share. This is a great room concept. So, you know, notice how convenient it is when somebody is at the sink that they're still able to be in conversation with the family, to see their favorite show on TV. Is this something that is kind of what you had in mind, right? This is what you want to ask them. What do you want them to say?
Yeah.
So when you're asking them, you're going to be
Nodding
nodding your head. You look like an idiot, but that's okay. It's only because we're in a big group that you look like an idiot. To them, you're encouraging them to say yes. And they will, okay? It's just what we do. Now, with this home, okay, we've also got a room downstairs. So if a bedroom down is something that was important to folks, then you can bring them back over here. And you can say, you know, again, this is kind of one of those wow spots. So come over this way. Or if they're standing here in front of the door looking back, because of the hallway and the stair rail, this room just extends. Okay, how big does this room look?
Big. That's true, it's open.
Okay. Now, when we were back over there, how big did it look? Did it look as large?
Yeah.
You felt it did? Okay. What about you guys? Did you feel it looked as large when we were standing over by the staircase?
Well, actually, it goes beyond because the doors.
Exactly. So it didn't look as large from over there because we couldn't see as much. We could only see from the stairs to here, whereas from here we can see all the way to the door. Good call. All right, so then you're going to bring them into the bedroom. Okay? Let them wander through it. Go ahead. We can all, have you guys all wandered through this one already?
No.
Okay. Now, if it's furnished, you can point out things like this is a full-size bed. You know, if it was a queen, you'd point that out. You can see how large this room is. You know, how would this room be used? That's what you want to ask them. Is this going to be for a family member or is this going to be for guests? If it's for guests, you notice the size. This is just large enough for them to be comfortable, but not so comfortable they want to overstay their welcome. Right? Get people laughing. Get them to smile. Laugh with them, you know? The more you get them to like you, the more likely they are to purchase. Bathroom. You know, in a new home, you can usually have your choice between a tub and shower or a larger walk-in shower. You know, so those are things that the salesperson will share with you when you come back through with them. In my neighborhood, I tour people through my models. Each sales neighborhood is different. Some builders, they tour, some they don't. It just depends. If they're not touring you, you guys want to have this background so that you can tour them through and let them, you know, experience the home to its fullest, okay? Now, with this room, here's one of the things I usually point out is that from the bed, you cannot see the toilet. Okay, that's super important. Who wants to be, you know, waking up and the first thing they see is the toilet, right?
Yeah.
So those are things that you should certainly look at. You know, where is the downstairs bath if it's a 2-story? Where is the powder room or the guest bath if it's a 1-story? You don't want necessarily to be walking in the front door and then there's a door that's sitting right next to the front door and you're looking at the toilet and the shower, right? Because, you know, the bathroom shouldn't necessarily be the first thing that people see when they come into your home, okay? So those are like little red flags. Now, if your client doesn't care about that, you know, or they don't notice it, you don't want to bring it up. But if it is something that's important to them, if you preview, you can knock those out again before you even have to drive them over there. Narrow it down from 10 homes to 7 homes to 5 homes. You know, and then they're making a choice, hopefully from the 3 they like best. And you're ready to go. Now, I try not to wait until we've seen all of them. Again, I want to ask them every time, is this the right home for you? And if it is, we don't need to go see the rest. You know, you can go invest your time writing the purchase offer, taking out another client, all of those things, okay? Now in this home, we have our powder room back here to the left. So it is close and convenient to the family room and the kitchen, but it is not right on top of it. there are certain aromas, certain sounds you don't want mingling, you know? Somebody's watching a great movie, you don't want the bathroom like right next to where the TV is. Okay, head on back over there.
Like he said, there's nothing worse than walking in the front door.
There's a bathroom right
There's your
over there.
bathroom.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Homes, do you see them going
Yeah,
like more formal dining and just being more?
Yes. We do. You know, we see more informal living as kind of the rule of thumb right now. You'll typically see, you know, some type of dining area. And this one was kind of set up with the booth setting.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got, of course, the giant island, which gives plenty of room for families to sit down. It's just a matter of style. And like some of our, that's a, I'll answer that in just a second. The other models, you're going to see like one has a formal dining room or more dedicated space, I should say, for it. Whereas this one is much more informal. So that is a composite sink, or they call it a granite sink, but it's not really granite. The advantage to it is it doesn't scratch like stainless steel and it doesn't chip like porcelain. It's a very durable sink.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. Okay. Pantry, storage space. You know, of course, this home has the walk-in pantry. We would have talked about that while we were in the kitchen. You know, again, have them step into the walk-in pantry, make sure they feel like it lives large, right? A great thing to talk about is a phrase I learned. You know, we want the home to live large but maintain small. Notice how large this feels because we got the 9-foot ceiling, but it still maintains small. This room would not take more than probably 15, 20 minutes to clean on a weekly basis, right? And people like that, the convenience of it. So we're gonna write that down or keep it in your mind. We want to live large but maintain small. Okay? Now, after that, we want to go upstairs. So we're going to invite them to go up the stairs first. Because again, we don't want, you know, my derriere to be the first thing they see as their first impression of the upstairs. We want them to experience it in full.
So I take it this is the 4-bath model.
I have no idea. I don't work at this neighborhood.
I like it.
I think it's 3.5.
Well, I call it this.
4?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would say 2,000.
Yeah, I love this carpet though.
That's the best part, huh?
All right, so let's talk about that. It's not carpet. It's the pad underneath the carpet.
Yeah.
That is what provides you with all that cushiony softness. Okay?
Is it like double padding or something?
It's a memory foam.
Memory foam.
Yeah, pad. With the COVID supply chain issues, we can't even get this right now. So we don't offer it anymore. Instead, we have a pad that's not quite as cushiony, but it costs half as much and it lasts 5 times as long. So it's a better value. But this is great for a model, so we put it in. Okay, as we come upstairs, you know, again, this one opens up onto the loft. Now, one of the things that I like to share with folks is how large and open it feels when you come up, as opposed to being in a hallway with walls right in front of you where it feels small and tight, right? And ask them, you know, do you feel like this lives large enough for you? And get them to say, yes. Okay. Bedrooms, we'll start with the primary suite.
I like the map.
I believe this is the primary suite. Yeah, this is the primary suite. All right. So, with the bedrooms, okay, we want to talk about size, how they're going to use it. How does it feel? Does this live large enough? This is a California king bed. You should be able to spot, you know, the bed sizes pretty quickly and easily. California king is the widest bed. Got good sized nightstands, and there's still plenty of walking around room. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right? And we're going to nod our heads so that they say, yes, oh my gosh, I can put my chair over there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the preference is always to have windows on 2 walls in the rooms that you have your deepest discussions. The dining room, the kitchen, the primary bedroom, okay? Why do we want windows on 2 walls?
Opens it up.
Okay, why else?
Lighting.
Okay, and tell me about a little more about that. The light.
Makes the room.
It sells a home.
Okay, so when you have window on only one wall, okay, people in front of the windows are going to be in shadow, right? How clear is she to you? Okay, she's a little hazy, right? And when you're having a conversation, psychologists have run studies that show that the person in light, these people, are more trusted, so I'm gonna stand over here so I'm in light, than the people that are in shadow, okay? The person in shadow is less trusted, less believed. It leads to friction, lack of harmony in the home. When you have windows on two walls, it eliminates the shadows. Everybody's in light. And so it leads to less stress, less friction, less arguments, more harmonious household, okay? So in most Beazer homes, you're gonna have windows on two walls in the primary bedroom. You'll always have light sources coming in two directions in the kitchen and dining area, okay? Primary bathroom. In our homes, we offer you two choices on the kitchen design, two choices on the bath design. This one's showing the extended shower. Come this way. So what's the most important thing for most folks?
The closet.
A closet. So this home has two closets, but we don't want them to realize that right away. So we want to stand either here or here and direct them to one or the other, right? They're going to come in. There's the closet. How's the closet size for you? Come in. Come in. Come in. There's the closet. How's the closet size for you? Did she look that way? No, she didn't. She looked right where I'm telling her to look, right?
Oh, it's big.
So go on in there, take a look at the closet. Yes, you. How's the closet size?
Oh my God, it's enormous.
It's enormous. Now, what if she said, well, you know, this would fit my stuff, but not his?
Guess what? There's another one.
Well, wonderful. I got his over here. How would that work? Right? So be fun with it. You know, make it there some surprises. Don't just let them walk in and go, oh, two closets. It takes all the thrill out of it. You know, direct them, because you previewed this home, I hope. You can say, right over here, your closet. Take a look. Oh, look, there's some storage here. Yeah. Oh, there's another closet. Look at that. How awesome is this?
I love the window.
Right? Let's in again, a little more light, natural light. That's a huge thing. And when they say that, you know, you can ask them, that's important to you, isn't it? Yes, it is. Wonderful. I think this home has a lot of what you like so far, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Awesome, right? Get those little mini closes out there as you're demonstrating the home to get them closer to, at the end, oh my gosh, I mean, you love the way the home felt when you walked in. You love the kitchen design and all that space, right? You had the guest bedroom downstairs for when friends and family came over. Upstairs, the dual closets and the window above the shower. My goodness, I mean, I think this one hit all of your buttons. Well, hold on a second. This one hit all of your buttons. I feel like this is a home that we should make an offer on. Do you agree that this is the right home for you?
Need to know, yes. There you go.
Right? And they're gonna start going like this. Okay, you're nodding. So let's sit down and put in an offer. I think we found your home for you. Boom, done. On to the next, right? So that's the goal. And we haven't even got to the secondary bedrooms yet, but I mean, you can take them through those things. We're going to cut it here just for lack of time. But what's your question, sir?
Why did you didn't put the tubs here?
Why? Because we show a tub in the other models. So as I shared on Beazer Homes, you have your choice between the larger shower or a tub with a separate shower. Probably about 2/3 of the people right now that are buying homes do not want a tub in their bathroom. They don't use it. It becomes a hamper. Waste of space, you know, it's just taking up room they didn't want, and their shower is smaller. Whereas if they shower 95% of the time, they would rather have the bigger shower, you know. So, but like I shared, we give you the choice. There's no difference in the price. It's just what flows better for you. And that placard there shows you the two designs that we offer.
Oh, okay.
Now, of course, when you're showing a resale, it is what it is. You know, you're not going to be, you know. But let's say somebody said, you know, I really wanted a tub. Well, great. You know, these things are really, you know, one-piece inserts. So if you wanted to redesign this bathroom a little bit, you could certainly put a tub there in lieu of the shower.
Yeah.
You know, those are things, if there's room, that you can point out, you know, or you can, you know, remodel and take out part of that closet and make that extend to the bathroom and put the tub in there. You know, it's just a matter of adding a drain to tie into this one, and you go from there. The water lines are already in the wall, so pretty easy. Okay, so those things are things you got to think about. You know, think of outside the box. Hey, you know, look, if you're looking at a resale and you want the giant tub and the walk-in shower, that's going to add probably $10,000 to the price of the home. You know, and you can certainly do that, or you could buy this one and then after you move in, you could remodel it. You know, it probably takes 5 days, you know, 3 to 5 days for the contractor to go in and make the modifications that you want. And having, you know, some contractors in your address book that you can reach out to, you know, have them meet them out here and give them a bid, or talk to them on the phone and say, yeah, that's an easy thing to do. Those are wonderful, wonderful resources to have. Okay, let's head on back over so we can get you in front of Jeff and he can